Sir, I will call Mala Tomanek.
Good evening.
Good evening. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
And if you would pull the microphone close and state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Mala Tomanek. I live at 9975 Adams Willett Road in Nanjemoy, Maryland.
And how long have you lived there, ma'am?
I've lived there 14 years.
Is your property directly adjacent to the subject property?
Yes, it is.
And are you on the northern or southern side of the subject property?
I am notoriously bad at directions. I am closer to Liverpool Point than Mr. Moorhead is.
Okay. Can you describe for us your travels along Adams Willett Road?
Adams Willett Road scares me, and Hancock Run, which I travel frequently, scares me more. There's hardly a straightaway on it, so if you get behind, like we have a lot of bicyclists that use that road. It's on their route for a bicycling club, and you get behind bicyclists, and they're going, I always go the speed limit, honest to goodness, at 25 miles an hour, and they're going slower than that. They can't pedal as fast as my engine can move, and it's very, very hard to pass them safely, and generally one of them will wave me on, and I cross my fingers that they can see farther ahead than I can. It's that twisty of a road.
Are you aware of the conditions regarding a shoulder on the road?
There is no shoulder, and if you pass a car coming the other way, you both have to kind of slow down. You don't want to. It's so narrow that you have to get as far over as you can to avoid hitting rear view mirrors. It's pretty close.
Have you had occasion to pass school buses on that road?
You can't pass a school bus on that road.
I mean in the opposite direction. The bus coming one way.
Oh my goodness! I have to stop for the school bus to go. It's too wide. The same thing with garbage trucks and anything that's larger than an automobile.
Okay. You indicated that there is no shoulder to the road. If you were to step off of the road surface, what would you be stepping into if there is no shoulder there?
Oh, a lot of places it's pretty steep. There's ditches. You would go into a ditch.
You mentioned the bike route on there. Are you aware?
Did I mention I hate the bicyclists?
Are you aware that the roads, both Hancock Run Road and Adams Willett Road, are on regular bicycling routes?
Oh yes.
Okay. And how often do you encounter a bicycle on those roads?
Oh, at least once a week, and usually, obviously more on weekends. I travel those roads 2 or 3 times a day, and I run into them probably every other day to every third day.
Now, you mentioned...
I don't actually run into them. I come across them.
Now, you mentioned also Hancock Run Road.
Oh.
And that you take Hancock Run Road.
Yeah, Hancock Run is actually, from my house, is closer to Route 6. If I'm going farther into Nanjemoy, I'll use Hancock Run. So out of my driveway, I'd make a right instead of a left towards Liverpool Point.
And what are the traffic conditions on Hancock Run Road?
Again, you've got to pull as far over as you possibly can and stop to let another vehicle go by. There's just no room. It's worse than Adams Willett, actually.
Between your property and the subject property, is there a creek or a drainage ditch?
There's at the end of my property, there is a creek that it actually marks my property line that runs past. It runs from their property past Mr. Moorhead's and then past mine.
And do you have any concerns regarding your physical property as a result of the placement of this subdivision?
Yes, I'm afraid that with depending on how they do the clear cutting, if they're going to do clear cutting, the deforestation is going to cause soil erosion, and that's and flooding. The water is going to travel. We have a pretty thick clay layer right there, and the water is going to travel along the clay layer and take some of my property into the creek with it.
And what are the traffic problems associated with you getting out of your driveway?
Oh, it's not as bad as Mr. Moorhead's. I'm not as blind as he is, but I have to not. My road isn't as blind. I'm probably blinder than Mr. Moorhead is, but I have to pull out carefully into the right-hand travel lane to be able to see whether I can make a left-hand turn into my travel lane. It's a ginger process.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tomanek. I don't have any other questions. These other gentlemen have an opportunity to ask you questions.